Hmm, what should I make for this week's episode? Oh, those look good. Oh, wow, that's a lot of ingredients. Oh, I know. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Max AC channel. For this month's theme, we will be doing September snacks, where we'll be taking a look at 4 simple and delicious snacks to enjoy as the summer comes to an end. For this last episode, we will be making some homemade pizza rolls. For this recipe, you will need some oil for frying or baking your rolls. You will also need some egg roll or wonton wrappers for wrapping. In addition, you will also need any ingredients you wish to stuff your pizza rolls with. You of course can use whatever you want, but if you want to stick to the original, I recommend using some pizza sauce. You can of course make your own, but you can use pre-made sauce as well. You will also need some pepperoni and some mozzarella cheese. But since we're making it ourselves, I recommend adding some other ingredients, such as some basil, some mushrooms, some other cheeses, or, well, anything you want really. And if you want a dipping sauce, you will need some more pizza or marinara sauce. First, we'll prepare the filling. So before we mix everything together, we'll want to chop up everything into small pieces so that they'll fit into the roll. So dice up your pepperoni, cheese, or any other ingredient that you're using. In addition, if anything requires cooking to eat it, or if you want to give something a nice char, I recommend cooking it before putting it into the mix. Then, when you're ready, add in your cheese, pepperoni, sauce, and any other ingredients into a bowl, and give this a mix until everything is evenly distributed. You can of course use whatever ratio of ingredients you like, but if you want to make about 24 pizza rolls, I recommend using about a quarter cup of pepperoni, a quarter cup of pizza sauce, 1 cup of cheese, and a quarter cup of any other ingredients you wish to add. Next, once your filling is ready, we'll prepare the wrapping. If you're using egg roll wrappers, I recommend cutting them into 4 squares so that the rolls will be similar in size to the original version. But if you're using wonton wrappers, they should be the correct size as is, so you don't need to do anything. Then, when you're ready to make them, for each roll, scoop some filling onto the center of one side of the wrapper, leaving a ½ inch or so around the 3 edges. Then, using some water, wet the edges and then fold the wrapper over the filling, sealing the edges of the wrapper. Then, for extra sealing, you can wet the edges again and then fold the edges over itself, creating a tighter seal. We want to make sure that the filling doesn't escape while cooking them, so make sure that they're completely sealed. Otherwise, it's more important to keep it completely sealed if you're deep frying them, so don't worry too much if you're going to air fry or bake them. But regardless, keep repeating this process until you've made all the pizza rolls as desired. As mentioned, there are various ways of cooking these rolls, so I will show you 3 ways to cook them. If you wish to deep fry them, preheat some oil in a pot to 350 degrees Fahrenheit while you make your rolls. Once you're ready and the oil is done preheating, fry your rolls a few at a time for about 1 to 2 minutes or until they turn puffy and golden brown. If you want to air fry them, similarly, preheat your air fryer to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, once that's ready, place your rolls in, allowing for plenty of space in between them. Brush both sides with some oil and air fry them for 6 to 8 minutes, flipping them about halfway through. If you wish to bake them in the oven, preheat to 350 degrees Fahrenheit as well, and then, when you're ready, place your rolls onto a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil, giving each some space, and then brush some oil on both sides of them. Place this into the oven and cook them for 12 to 15 minutes, or until the rolls are golden brown and crispy. Regardless of your method of choice, once they're done cooking, transfer them to a paper towel to cool down and to soak up some oil. When all of your pizza rolls are ready, serve with some dipping sauce if desired, and your homemade pizza rolls are ready to eat. I was feeling rather nostalgic this month, and I was thinking about getting some pizza rolls the other day, but I didn't really like how many random ingredients there are in it. So I thought I would try making a homemade version, and I think it turned out pretty great. The pizza rolls themselves were very similar to how I remember them, but they tasted even better since the ingredients were fresh. Especially with the added basil, the pizza rolls were a lot less heavy. The breading is a little bit thinner than a pre-made pizza roll, but the deep fried version especially puffed up enough to where it wasn't really that big of a difference. Speaking of which, in terms of the different cooking methods, the fried versions are of course the ones that puffed up the most, whereas the oven version didn't bubble up as much as the other two. Similar to the crab stick crackers, the deep fried version is certainly the quickest method, taking only a couple minutes to whip up a batch of rolls. But it also requires the most amount of oil, so keep that in mind when making your decision. The air fried version is the second fastest, with the small downside of you only being able to cook so many at a time. But because it is an air fryer, you use a lot less oil, making it a relatively healthier option. And the oven version certainly takes the longest of the three, but it's also the most accessible, with most people having an oven in their kitchen. It also doesn't use as much oil as deep frying, so that's a plus as well. They all were still very crispy and delicious, but I think the deep fried version had the most appealing look to it. It's possible you could cook the rolls at a higher temperature to make it bubble more, but you want to make sure not to burn them, so experiment carefully. Speaking of which, my favorite part of this recipe is that you can easily experiment with adding or removing anything you want. Because you have control of the ingredients, you can modify it to your liking. Plus, you know exactly what you're eating, which is always a plus. Similar to the Totino's version, you of course can freeze these for later and then reheat them in the oven, but I would make sure that everything is cooked beforehand, as any meat or other ingredients in the mix will probably not cook completely if you don't. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know how it went if you decided to make it, and let me know if there's anything you want me to make next. Like the video, share with your friends and family, and subscribe to this channel for more episodes of the Max AC channel. And remember, if you want to stay cool in the kitchen, turn your AC to the max and watch the Max AC channel. Wait, it's not Tostinos?